Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? I'm a little nervous. It's my second live, so let's just, bear with me a little bit. Let me make sure I set this up so I can see everybody up in here. Can everybody hear me all right? Comment here if you can hear me all right. Bing, bing, bing. All right. So, can everybody hear me? Everything's good? All right. Okay. Yeah, so today we're going to get into, I want to talk about, we're going to get right into it, right? Um, I'm going to touch on, I did a community post and, static. All right. How about now? How does it sound now? Yeah, a little bit static. I got the microphone on right here. Mic's on. Echoing. All right. Let me make sure I turn this off. Then maybe that's not working. Boom. All right. So, that should be better. I turned off the other phone. So, yeah, I had a community post. I'm probably gonna do this like once a week. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to touch on. I'm trying to see if I. Alright, I'm gonna make sure I see everybody's stuff. All right, there you go. So you're echoing, static again. Let me shut this off. All right. What up? What up? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody in chat? So yeah, I had took some questions on the community post. I pretty much, I wanted to touch on the questions that everybody asked me, so we could get to know each other a little bit better. You know what I mean? And I can also share a little bit of things that I've been through in my life. And hopefully I can help somebody, you know what I'm saying? Somebody can help me, give each other feedback and stuff like that. And, we could learn something, and I can also let you know what I have learned from the things that I've been through, whether it's street, gang, drugs, jail, whatever it is, I would just wanted to share a little bit of the stuff I've been through. So on the community post, I asked people to, I took a vote, and everybody pretty much wanted to hear a little bit about my life story and a little bit of things that I can share about me, right? So there was a few questions up there, and I just felt like, okay, I'm gonna touch on it. We're gonna talk. And let me see the first question I got up here. And if after I'm done with this, if there's more questions up there, you guys wanna ask me some more questions, we can do that too. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody that's following me. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So yeah, we can do that. Here we go. So good is good. Yeah, definitely, right? I can speak on a lot of things. So I'm gonna start straight off the bat. We're gonna get going. I'm a little nervous, so we're gonna break the ice right now. So, Clovera Clark, she asks, were you active in gangs or just associated by your environment? So, first of all, no, I wasn't active at the beginning. Obviously, at the beginning, you're pretty much just hanging around. You're seeing things. You know what I mean? Gangs is around my neighborhood, so it's pretty much at the beginning. It was just pretty much just a neighborhood thing. We was just hanging around. I watched the older guys that were down with certain gangs or whatnot around me. I watched everything that was going on in my environment. So therefore, um, so you got guys hanging around or whatnot. I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing the drug dealing. I'm seeing, the money. I'm seeing everything that's going on in my neighborhood. And at first, it was almost like me and my friends would talk about like the gangs, for example, right? Like this gang is better than that gang, almost like a sports team. I'm like 13, 14, and we was like looking up to all the stuff that was going on in town, right? Like all the gangs, they were fighting each other. Everybody that was down with whatever they were down with. So yeah, at the beginning it was just like almost like a sports team. Like you and your friends would talk about it and say this gang is better than that gang. This gang can't take this gang or whatnot. And that's how it was at the beginning. And then after a while, it was pretty much like a lot of these guys were my friends. You know what I mean? So I had guys in my neighborhood that I grew up with. They were my friends. We was hanging around together, and it became a point where they were like family. Like we once see the thing is once you start hanging around with people, they're your friends, and you're going through things together. It's no longer a gang. Even though it's a gang, it's no longer a gang. It becomes, you know what I'm saying, you become part of the gang, right? So I would hang around. It was pretty much on the other side of town from where I'm from or whatnot. So now I'm hanging around. I'm just a little shorty, you know what I mean? I'm around all the OGs, you know what I'm saying, all the gang members, this, that, and the third, and I was already around for a while, and now you're getting into situations. You get into situations, and you take part in it. So now you pretty much down with it, even though you're not, right? So if I'm outside club with a bunch of friends, and that's who you down with, and that's who you hanging with, you become affiliated by association, right? Even though you're not yet. So boom, I'm hanging around certain dudes, I'm hanging around certain people, and next thing you know, I'm like 15 at the time. I'm hanging around with all my boys, you know what I'm saying? They're all gang members. Boom. Yeah, I was born in Boston, but I was raised in Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? Waterbury, Connecticut. So yeah, so now I'm hanging with my friends or whatever. Boom. They're pretty much taking me in from the get go. So now I want to be a part of the gang, but it really didn't matter if I was a part of it or not because at the same time I was already in it. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't officially in it. But I was already in it because I was with them every day. They were. I was the youngest, so I was pretty much like the little brother around. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is I start hanging around with them. This down and third. I want to be a brother. That's what we call it. I want to be a brother. They're telling me at first they were telling me I was too young. You got to be 16, whatever, whatever. But I'm on the block with you. I'm on the block with you. We're doing gang stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like guys is coming through. We're getting jumped. We're jumping dudes. We're doing a bunch of things that come along. We're being in the gang. So I'm pretty much officially part of the gang. I'm on the block, hanging around, selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? Holding it down. I got my gun with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm out there. I'm all the way out there, but I'm officially not a gang member yet, right? So I was trying to get down or whatever because it was just like, yo, you might as well be with us because you know what I'm saying, you're with us every day. You're taking part of all the things that's going on in the streets, and so I pretty much was out there, and I was just doing everything that came along with the gang life, right? And after a time, I was 14. I want to say 14, no 15. I was 15, and they told me I wasn't old enough. But that whole time, I've been running with them. I've been running with the block. I got a good reputation, and they pretty much took me in. So what they did was they started a whole different set. It was pretty much like the juniors, right? So when they did that, it was between 13 and 15. All the little young dudes or whatever, whatever were running around, and they were just the smaller little set, right? That we would call the juniors or whatnot, right? So now I'm running around with that. But in my town, they were the juniors. It was like the thing exploded. It was like 60, 70 years, like in less than a month. But it was too much shit going on. It's too much shit going on. A lot of them was, some of them was suckers, some of them was troublemakers, some of them were real dudes, right? So there's too much problems, too much police attention is coming from behind the gang shit. So now the older cats were like, yo, pretty much we're gonna keep all the little young good ones and get rid of everything else because there's too much shit going on. So what happens is they pretty much took out the little gang. They pretty much was like, yo, you guys can't be no more, whatever, whatever. It's causing too much ruckus. We're just gonna, discontinue the juniors, right? So what happens is now they pretty much called, like I want to say between 5 or 10 of us. They called us back in, and I thought we was done. I really didn't care because at the end of the day, I didn't become a gang member because I wanted to be a gang member. I became a gang member because I was already in there. It was already part of me. Whether I was one or not, I was still out there. I still got the love and the respect. You know what I'm saying? I had gang members giving me the handshake even though I wasn't one. So it really didn't matter to me. It just became more official when I became a gang member. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I didn't care, but I was called back. They called me back and were like, yo, we're keeping some of y'all. Some of y'all, you know what I'm saying, have earned this. Some of y'all is mature enough. Some of y'all carry yourself the right way. This, that, and the third. So I was brought back, even though I wasn't old enough to be part of the main set. There's no more juniors now. So now I'm part of the main set. And then it was like I want to say it was like between 5 and 10 of us. Mind you, I'm only like 15 at the time. Boom. So now I'm officially a member. So now it's no longer part of the environment. Now I'm running around, but I was always mature for my age. I was never the type that thought I was better than other people. I was never the type that picked on people, started trouble. So that's one of the reasons why I got kept. Boom. I was just pretty much with my little crew. Even though I wasn't from that side of town, I was just pretty much with my crew, getting money at an early age. You know what I'm saying? At 16, I was already living on my own. I had my own apartment or whatever, whatever. My baby mother was 18, so you know what I'm saying? I was pretty much out of my mom's house, but I was still in the projects because that's where I grew up. So I'm just getting money, doing the whole gang thing, this, that, and the third. And that's just a short version of how I got involved with the gangs. You know what I'm saying? So that was official. I became a gang member then, and you know what I'm saying. I just kept running in and out of trouble, and then it became to where, let me see what else. The next question is, that's how I became a gang member. Boom, boom, okay. Um, I mean, we're gonna touch more on this. I'm just giving you the short version, you know what I'm saying? But I'll do it live at least once a week or whatever, whatever, and we could get into some more of the details. That's just answering the questions on how I became a gang member instead of just being associated, right? So then the next question is, Andrea Cunningham, um, would you change anything about your life? All right. So I always say I wouldn't change anything about my life because everything that happened in my life happened for a reason, and that made me who I am today. So yes, I want to say I wouldn't change anything, but one thing I always say is I wish I could go back to school and continue playing sports. Right? Excuse me. So I always said that. I always said if I can go back and do something different, it would be staying in school and playing sports. Because coming out of Pop Warner, I played Pop Warner football. I played running back and I played tailback. So coming out of Pop Warner, I had scholarships going to go to private high schools and stuff like that. Coming out of high school, because I played Pop Warner, and I was at one time I was the best out of my state playing Pop Warner football and whatnot. And you know I had all the private schools just offering me scholarships and stuff like that. So I wanted to play high school football, and I did play high school football as a freshman. You know I played varsity sophomore, and I played in the freshman team. So just going in and out of school, skipping school, not getting the grades not because I wasn't smart enough. I was getting my grades, as far as getting them, but I wasn't never in school to get grades. Now I had some teachers that would give me grades just because they knew I was the star of the football team and they wanted me to be able to play. They wanted to make sure the team in the high school, won or whatnot. So they gave me the grades. Some teacher actually gave me the grade, and it's crazy, but that's how it works, right? But at the end of the day, I ended up screwing up enough where I wasn't even going to school no more because I was driving stolen cars to school, picking up girls, skipping school, smoking and drinking, and school became something that I wasn't worried about. I used to say if I could get money while I'm on the block, why not get money while I'm on the block instead of being in school? School's not paying me. School's not putting money in my pockets. So I was literally in the block. And if I was in school, I was not paying no attention to what was going on in school. I had customers running the back of the school. I'm running outside, making drug sales outside of school. You know what I'm saying? That's how wild we was just doing it at that time. You know what I mean? Like, and then it just became a full-time thing. When they told me I couldn't play in the football team anymore, I pretty much was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to go to school no more because I'm getting enough money to do what I need to do, and school's not paying me, so why continue going to school? So I stopped going to school completely, you know what I mean? Especially after I was told you're not going to be in a football team. So that right there kind of like, what I'm saying, made me not want to be in school anymore because I was only in school because I wanted to play football, and I love football. So that kind of like, what I'm saying, made me not stop going to school no more. And I just went full time, you know what I'm saying? Because at that time I was kind of like one step in and one step out. But once I knew I couldn't play football no more, I pretty much completely went 100 on the streets. out there 24/7. You know what I'm saying? And I was just going hard. How do your parents feel about you not going to school? See now, boom, we're gonna touch on that because I think you the one that asked me about somebody asked me about did growing up made you a better parent go or whatever. Okay. So the thing is, I had a stepfather in my life, right? Boom. And my stepfather pretty much he was into drugs, right? He was not my father. So I was pretty much I grew up to where I didn't like him because I felt like he always picked on me and my brother because we're not, my sister is the only one that's her father, right? So I pretty much, I'm the oldest, so I pretty much always felt like, um, yeah, definitely. That's the reason why I'm doing because I want to get to know my subscribers and I want y'all to get to know me. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know who y'all dealing with. It's not just about the subscribers. You know what I mean? So, so boom, he comes. He's in my life, but at the end of the day, I really don't like him. He used to beat on us, this, that, and the third. So I always felt like he doesn't like us because he's not our dad or whatever, whatever. Screw him. You know what I'm saying? So he left my house by the time I was 12. I got into a fight with him, blah 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 blah. He left the house. So I was after that it was my mom by herself. And I'm tired of seeing my mom struggling, being on welfare with the bills, you know what I'm saying? And I was tired of going to school without no clothes and this, that, and the third. So that's when I stepped into the streets and started getting money because I wanted to, I had to be the man of the house, basically. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm giving my mom 4 times a week, like what's going through. Definitely. At one time, yes, when I was, I'll get into that in a second. But on one time, I was, so the whole thing with my parents are pretty much, my mom didn't have no control of me. First of all, you know what I'm saying. Once I was out there, I was out there. You know what I mean? And she didn't like it, or she didn't want to take no money from me because she knew where it was coming from. But I was sneaking. I was sneaking in her envelopes. Like my mom kept the envelope with certain money in each envelope. Like the light bill, she would have like $60 in there, and the light bill was like 120, 150. She would have like $60 in there. I would sneak like $20 in there, $40 in there for her light bill. So I would go in her purse and I would sneak money in her envelope for each bill because I knew she wouldn't take the money from me because she knew it was coming from me selling drugs. So she pretty much had no control as far as me being in the streets, even though she tried to tell me. And that's why the whole father thing comes in strong because I had scholarships to private high schools. So if I had a father who was there, who would have been like, yo, you're going to go to school, you're going to take this scholarship, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to head down this road, I would have probably went down the right road. You know what I'm saying? Because he would have guided me to go down that way. I didn't have a male role model in my life to teach me, you know what I'm saying, to get up in the morning, go to work, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? All I had was watching him doing drugs. My house door was getting kicked in because I was getting raided. You know what I'm saying? Everything that had to do with the drug game in the streets was in my house since day one. So I had no role model to teach me how to do things the right way. I had to learn that as I continue on in life on my own. You know what I'm saying? So yes, if I had a father in my life that would have, guided me the right way, I probably would have took that scholarship, and I know for sure I would have went to a D1, D2. You know what I'm saying? What up, swag? So I would have definitely went to a D1, D2 college because I was that good. You know what I mean? Even if it was just D2, but I would have definitely went to college if I had a father to guide me to follow through with the sports and take the scholarship or whatnot. But when I'm making decisions on my own, and that's another thing, yo, this is crazy, right? Because this is the type of friends that is not your friends. When I got the scholarship to go to private high schools, I went and took the test to go to that school, right? When I went and took the test to go to that school, I passed the test. Now the whole city knows that I'm supposed to go to this school. That's my district. But when they found out I got a scholarship and I was getting ready to go to the private school, I got everybody from that high school. Even though I wasn't in the high school yet, my cousins and everybody else were in that high school, and I was popular enough to be known in that high school and stuff like that. So everybody was expecting for me to come into the high school already, being the next running back. They're supposed to be good or whatnot. So when all the high school seniors and stuff like that were leaving off to college and stuff like that heard that I took the test and I was gonna go to a private high school, I was getting pretty much like sunned. Like everybody was just like, yo, like you're gonna do that, you're gonna play us, you're supposed to be playing football for our team. How you gonna just, like now you getting a little recognition and you got a scholarship and you want to diss it, you don't want to play for it. And I felt like, you know, I'm dissing my school that I'm supposed to go to. They're expecting me to go up there and shine. So now I'm like, okay, like I made the decision to stay in the public high school. So there goes something to show you. If I would have had a dad in my life, they would have told me, I don't care, you're going to take that scholarship. Yo, a dude that was not even nowhere as good as me went to that private school and he played my position. He played running back. And he was catching wreck. And I was just like, yo, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I would have been a beast if I would have went to that school. Because my school, when the grades hit, everybody got kicked off the football team because they didn't make the grades. And I was getting smashed in the team as far as running the ball because I had no team. And now I'm looking back like I should have took that scholarship. And then I didn't make the grades like I said earlier. So I ended up just leaving the team and just forgetting about school and football. So that's the answer, the whole having a father in my life thing, and answering the whole about my parents not caring if I was in the streets. And getting back to the other question that somebody asked about, dealing with shootouts or whatever, a few times a week, it wasn't too bad. Um, exactly, that's what happened. I felt like I was not being loyal to where I came from, so I ended up choosing to go to public schools. So the thing is, so now, somebody else asked about the whole shooting thing. It wasn't too bad. The whole shooting thing wasn't too bad. My projects, what I'm saying, it was a little something. It was something on and off. Um, I would say a good handful that we still good friends in school and stuff like that. I'm in Facebook and stuff like that, and so the whole shooting thing that was just like I want to say it wasn't too bad. It was okay, but when it got ugly, I want to say it gets it's different levels to it. So as you start growing up at a certain age, it starts getting crazier. So like me, I was always the type that I had a gun. I was in middle school, I had a gun. I was in high school, I always had my gun on me. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like I was always ready. I used to always say like I rather get caught by the cops with a gun than get caught by the ops without a gun. So I always kept something on me. But it wasn't too bad because I was always cool, always show love. It was always respect, so it wasn't too bad. And the funny thing is, actually, when the things got heated, it actually happened with people from my own neighborhood. And that's how it is. Even like like right now in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, in every other neighborhood, it's usually from block to block or whatever. My projects and the main street, we're both the same set. We're both the same neighborhood, but it's split. You know what I'm saying? When shit splits, boom, what happens? Now everybody from the projects is running with me, and everybody from the main street is running with them. You know what I'm saying? And the first time I got into it, it was pretty much like we was getting into a shootout at least once a week for like a whole month and a half straight. You know what I'm saying? And I actually got locked up over a shootout. You know what I mean? By the time I was 17. But anything between 13 and 15, it was just a little bit here and there. Somebody probably shoot at you, you don't know who it was. They were stick up kids. They, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. A little bit. It wasn't too much. I got shot at maybe a few times or whatever the case may be. But when it was real beef, yeah, I want to say at least once a week, twice a week for like a whole month and a half straight. And then, what I'm saying, I got locked up over that. So if it wasn't because I got locked up, I probably would have been dead by now. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have probably got killed or killed somebody, ended up in jail for a long time. Because like I said, it was going on for like once or twice a week. And that's to answer the question for somebody, Prodigy had asked me, Prodigy, the kid asked me why I get locked up. That's why I got locked up. Boom. So I'll touch a little bit on that, right? So what happens is, there's this kid in my neighborhood, blah blah blah. He's well known, whatever, whatever. He's a shooter. He's usually getting into it. A lot of people. Yes, exactly. So he's getting into it. A lot of people, right? Boom. And the kid got shot that summer. He must have got into a shooter. He had ops like in 5 different neighborhoods. And I was cool with this kid, but he was like the type that used to like bully people. So, like I said, he's from the main road. I'm from the projects, but we were all the same hood. We all went to school together. We all grew up together. So he used to come around and like always want to make sure he let his presence known or whatever. But he never really messed with me. But he used to mess with kids my age or a little bit younger than me, go in their pockets, take their money. You know what I'm saying? Didn't want them on the block selling drugs. And I used to just be like, yo, this dude crazy, man. Get out of here with that shit, whatever the case may be. And one day it was just like, okay, we on the block, boom. My man come through. I'm trying to be careful how I say this, even though it's old. So, I went to jail for this shit. But so my man comes through. He's like, yo, I just fought blah blah blah, and I'm just like, yo, you just got into a fight with him. So I'm telling him, I'm like, be careful because you know he's a shooter or whatever, whatever. He's gonna come back. And I'm just making it short. We could get into some more afterwards or whatever, as time goes on. So I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, be careful because he's a shooter and he's gonna come back to get you if you just got into a fight with him. So I guess he was drunk. He drives by my man, he throws a bottle at him, a liquor bottle or whatever. He throws a bottle at my man. Excuse me. So he throws the bottle at him. My man is like, yo, what are you doing? Whatever, whatever. He gets out the car. They get into a fight. Boom. This is what started me going to jail and getting into beef with this dude. Listen to how shit works. My man is walking through the neighborhood. He throws a bottle at my man out the car, drunk, starting trouble. My man tells him, blah, 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 get out the car. He gets out the car. They get into a fight. My man gets the best of him because he's drunk. Now my man, they leave, everything stops. My man comes back into the neighborhood. He tells me in the circle, we playing dice. We was playing dice, and he comes over and he's like, "Yo, I just got into a fight with this nigga, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Yo, so just be careful, cause he gonna come back. If you just got the best of him, he's gonna come back, cause he's a shooter, right?" So I'm like, "Yo, he's gonna come back. So be careful. You got something on you?" And he's like, "Nah, I ain't got nothing on me." And we always kept the guns around or whatnot. So I'm like, "Yo, there's something behind the building. There's something behind the building. So you know what I'm saying? If you need it, go grab it." Boom. He's like, "I'm straight. I'm about to go to some girl house." I'm like, "All right, go ahead." Half hour later, my man leaves. Bum, he's gone. The kid he fought pulls up with his cousin. He's in the passenger seat. And he's over here talking shit out the window. He's like, "Yo, where's such and such, blah, blah, blah." He's talking mad shit. Mind you, I'm already don't really like the dude because he's always starting trouble, but he never gave me a reason to really bring it to him because he wouldn't fuck with me. So I was looking for a reason for him to really do it because I don't like bullies, right? So I looked at him and I'm like, "Yo, get up out of here with that shit, man. Don't bring that shit over here. Take that shit up the street." Because like I said, he's from the main road, right? So I'm like, "Take that shit up the street." So he's talking shit, whatever, whatever. So now I know he's got a gun because he's looking for my man because my man just whipped his ass. So my cousin's like, "Yo, let's get the. I'm about to do this nigga, man." So my cousin takes his shirt off and wants to go fight him. So I grab my cousin. I'm like, "Yo, don't even do that, man." I was like, "Yo, he got a gun on him, bro. He's looking for this nigga." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Chill, because it's not worth it, right?" So I'm telling him like, "Chill." But I got mad at the time, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm tired of him." So now I'm like, "Yo, hold on a second, man." Mind you, like I said, I got a gun behind the building. So I'm like, "Yo, hold on a second, man. Let me go get my shit. I'm about to do this nigga and whatever, whatever." You know what I'm saying? That's just the mentality I was in. I'm about to do him in, bro. I'm tired of this dude. So I walk behind the building and go get it. They're still arguing, whatever, whatever. I walk behind the building and go get my gun, right? Boom. When I walk around the building, he gets out the car and he pulls out his gun. He robs everybody that's playing dice. Remember who's playing dice? He takes all the dice money off the floor, whatever, whatever. Tells everybody to back the fuck up, takes the money, jumps in the car. Now I'm going behind the building to get my gun. So now he pulls up, boom, behind the building where he can see me, right? His cousin's driving, so he's in the passenger seat. They pull up enough where they can see me, and he yells my name and goes, "You want to go get your gun?" And starts shooting at me. Bang. That led to me beefing enough to where we got into a shootout at least once or twice a week for about a month, and I got locked up. My first time getting locked up or whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And doing my first bit. You know what I'm saying? That's just a short version of it or whatnot. There's a lot more, whatever, whatever. We could touch on it a little bit on and off as I keep doing lives every week. I'm gonna do it live at least once a week. So that there goes a little short story about what you just asked me if it was just as bad as Chicago with the shootings or whatnot. I would say it's not as bad, but I can't speak on being on both sides of the gun or whatnot. So that's just touching on that and doing a bit off of that or whatever the case may be. Another question I had in here was do you agree? Are you still friends with him as he's around in contact? Yo, you know what the funny thing is? The kid got locked up like 6 months after I got locked up. Boom. We got into a shootout. Boom. I got locked up, right? That was like the fifth shootout we got into, whatever, whatever. Boom. I see him in jail. And now he's scared because remember, who I've run with and the people that, you know what I'm saying, whatever, whatever, they were sending messages down like, "Yo, we gonna touch him." He tried to violate, whatever, whatever. So he was already scared. So when he was in jail, he was sending me kikes. Like, "Yo, tell him I want no problems. It was, we always been good, blah, blah, blah." So at that time, I'm with the mentality like, "Nah, when I catch you, it's on sight." Like, I didn't even want to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? So I did my whole bid. I did 3.5. I did my whole bid. I come home. I never really ran into him after that. I seen him, in the county jail because he had two attempted murders and an assault first. He got snatched up for two attempted murders and an assault first. I got snatched up for an attempted murder and an assault. I'm doing my whole shit in the county. He's doing his shit for a different case or whatever the case may be. But he's trying to send me kites because niggas in jail is trying to get him because, my people, whatever the case may be. So now he's pretty much trying to cop a plea because he knows that he could get touched. But I never really got a chance to see him. The crazy thing about you asking me if we cool, whatever the case may be, is that when I came home, my first day out, I'm the type that I want to handle it. I want to handle it. We're gonna either handle it or we're gonna let it go. But I don't want to be watching my back. So the first day home, I was like, yo, I want to see him. I want to see where his head is at. I want to see how we're gonna do this, how we're gonna handle. So my brother picks me up. We go back to the projects. This is the mentality I'm on, yo. This is crazy because I think back now and be like, damn, like my first day out, and this is the type of shit I'm doing. Coming home from, doing a bid for shooting and shit. So my brother picks me up. We go to the projects. Everybody out there, the same thing. Nothing has changed, blah, blah, blah. There's few niggas is locked up, whatever. But same old thing. Shit is still lit. He's out there. He beat those two attempted murders and I saw first. He beat it. So he came home. He's been home the whole time I was locked up. So they all playing dice out there. I get there. I jump out the car. My brother jumps out the car. My brother got the gun on him, whatever, whatever. And we're gonna see what he's about or what he want to do. Boom. Mind you, we're gonna get into this after. The whole time I was locked up, at the beginning there was a whole war going on between my set and their set. That's just something I'm gonna touch on some other time. It was cracking for a while. So now I get home, my brother gets out the car, and he's like, yo, guess who's home, nigga? Yeah, guess who's home? Guess who's back? And you got mad niggas coming over here showing me love, giving me money, blah, blah, blah. And then you see him looking up, playing dice. But other niggas don't know if we're coming to handle business or whatever. So you got people separating themselves from him. Like everybody's backing up away from him because they're thinking we coming over to do something to him. So you got people backing away from him, and he looks around and he looks up and he notices that everybody's thinking like there's problems, right? So he looks up and he goes, yo, what up, Cheek? They call me Cheek in the street. So he's like, yo, what up, Cheek? He's like, yo, welcome home, man. Ain't no problems. We good, man. Ain't no beef over here. So I looked at him and I was like, I say that. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're saying, that's where you at, then we can leave it at that. I got no problem with squashing the beef, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I took the last shot, so I got nothing to lose. I don't have to retaliate because he took a shot at me. I got mine. So it was okay. I was okay with that. And it was over some stupid shit. And we grew up together and we know each other. You know what I'm saying? So for us to continue after I came home from jail, whatever, he let me know that he was all good with it. And I was like, okay, if that's where you at, I'm good with it. But mind you, there's been a bunch of other shit that happened that I don't want to touch on right now that still led me to being careful how I move because there were still other people involved. They got shot. Who didn't get shot, they still got some type of animosity over towards wanting to get me or whatnot. So yes, I had to be careful of how I move in my own hood because you got half of the hood is on my side and the other half is on the other side. So that was just something that, I answered for somebody who just asked that question, right? So what else I got? What do you think? All right, I'm gonna answer this one last because this one, he want to be funny. So I'm gonna answer him. After with guys, do you believe you're going about our Father? So I pretty much answered all the questions that I got here. So I'm gonna touch on the last one since he wants to be a little funny. He's like, oh, some kid named Sean or whatever. He's like, so you think he cool because he got hood stories or whatever, this, that, and the third. He was pretty much being funny. So anyways, no, it's not about being cool. I'm not sharing this hood stories to glorify anything about, violence, selling drugs, being in the streets, growing up without a father, with a father, having kids, none of that shit. I'm not doing it because I'm glorifying the street life. I'm doing it because it helps me, talk about this with my subscribers, who I appreciate because you subscribe to the channel, see something that I do that you like or whatever the case may be. I want people to get to know me to where they can feel more comfortable when they come into the channel. They know who they're dealing with, right? And I also want someone to listen to something that might help them in some way. You know what I'm saying? I could talk to somebody, I could say something to somebody that it could help them do something different. You know what I'm saying? Now I can say that I came home back then and I was just like I was on some wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Facts. So you know how it is. So now I can say, yo, I did this and I learned this. Yo, I did that and I did that. Yeah, I wasn't when I first came home. I wasn't on some when I came home, I wasn't like, oh, I'm different, this, down, and third. Because the whole time I was locked up, I was like, yo, I'm locked up because I was beefing with some nigga that I was trying to kill. He was trying to kill me. But at the end of the day, as long as I come home and I continue to get money, I never got caught selling drugs. I always got money. So as long as I be careful with the guns and don't play with guns, just handle my business if I need to handle it, I will never come back to jail. So I came, you know what I'm saying? I came home with that mentality. So every time I went through something, I learned something and I tried to change some things. And that's what I did. I came home and I changed some things, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't play with guns no more or as much or unless I really had to. And like I said, the beef wasn't really my beef. It just ended up being my beef. So I continue to do things. I continue to run the streets. I continue to do drugs. I mean, sell drugs, you know what I'm saying? And shit like that. And I ended up, um, obviously, you know what's funny? I've been off the streets for going on 5 years. This summer it'll be 5 years. I've been completely off the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't been dealing no drugs. I haven't been playing with no guns. I moved out for when I moved out of state. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to take that route. You know why? Because living in the same town in the same city, even me trying to stay out of trouble, it's like you got to live up to a reputation or to something that everybody's expecting you to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to get away or to like completely not do certain things because you're expected to do something. Everybody's looking to you to see what your answer is. You know what I'm saying? So I could be in the same town and try to stay out of trouble, but guess what? Somebody knows me. Somebody's gonna ask me this. Somebody's gonna ask me that. You know what I'm saying? So much shit going on that even if I don't want to be involved, I can still be involved in shit. You know what I'm saying? So I had to completely move out to where I'm in a town where nobody knows me. I don't gotta worry about nothing. I can come outside, jump in my car, don't have to look around to see if the boys is. We call, you know what I'm saying, detective, the boys, you know, police, we call them the boys or DTs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to worry about none of that because when I come outside, I don't have to have the mentality to like, boom, yo, I used to be on some shit like I would know every car in my neighborhood. Every car in my neighborhood, what neighbor drove what, who came to visit who, that's such and such car, that's his cousin's car, he comes once a week and visits him. But this, that, and the third, because I come outside and know what's different, what's not different, how to move in, coming out of my house, you know what I'm saying? Circle the block twice before I park just because I want to make sure nobody's following me. Shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, thanks, man. Definitely. If you want to live, you gotta change your ways. So, you know, for me to circle the block 2 or 3 times before I actually park the car to go in my house to make sure nobody's following me. You know what I'm saying? Turn off. If I got 2, 3 phones, one is personal, one is for business, and the other one is just for a different type of business and other type of. Okay, so now I'm turning off phones, taking out chips, making sure I do that 2, 3 miles before I get to the house um in case my shit was set up or they was watching me or tracking me through GPS or whatever. Like all types of shit. You get tired of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I had to just let it go. And I let it go in a time when my phone was great. And, you know, I was taking some money back from my phone when I completely had stopped. And then I was just like, I definitely don't want nothing to do with it. So I gotta even stop doing that because it would still connect me to it, right? Even though I'm not doing it, if I'm still taking payments, I'm still involved. So I had to completely stop that. You know what I'm saying? Completely detach myself from doing any of that, taking any money or anything like that. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. And now I just work and then now I do this YouTube thing because it helps me, you know what I'm saying? It helps me eventually get money because right now I'm monetized, but a lot of the content I put, YouTube don't really mess with me like that to where they allow me to come monetize a lot of my stuff. So it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? But I love to do it. I love to talk about the entertainment. And I love to, you know what I'm saying, share experiences and this, that, and the third. Do your kids see the life you live like you did? Okay, so um I want to say they seen some of it, but not. I mean, they knew because they knew what was going on, but they didn't see me in action as far as doing anything where it was negative to them. But they knew that, you know what I'm saying, I was out there. They knew I was getting money, and you know what I'm saying, like obviously they see, you know, the different cars, that everything is going on as far as that. So you know, to some aspects, I want to say yeah, but not because I intentionally did something in front of them, like I didn't care. No, I try to keep them as far as I can away from that type of stuff. But you know, there's only but so much, because at the end of the day, if I'm getting arrested and you know what I'm saying, and I gotta get bonded out and I'm going to court and you know, and I'm in and out and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, you know what I'm saying? Kids know. Plus, you know, I'm gonna touch on and mute if has down once. Exactly, yep. So yeah, and the thing is that, you know, like once your kids start getting older, a lot of people be on some funny shit. Like, you know, I had experiences. I'm on the live. So I had experiences where people will approach like one of my kids, like say they're in a mall or whatever, whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you look like such and such. Is that your dad?" And my son will be like, "Yeah, that's my dad." Now they're telling him, "Oh, yo, your dad, such and such and such. Yo, your dad is blah blah blah. Yo, here's some money." Or yo, tell your dad, me and your dad used to do this. Or yo, me. And I'm like, yo, where's your fucking head? Like, are you serious? Like, I got my kids coming back home, and one of them is telling me like a story about somebody, and I'm like, how you know him? And then they'll tell me, and I'm like, and now you got my kids trying to live up to what I, you know what I'm saying, trying to live up to my name and do shit, or thinking that they could do certain things to impress me. That's something I'm gonna touch on eventually, you know what I'm saying, because one of my sons is locked up, so you know what I'm saying, it's crazy, but I will touch on that maybe sometime in the future or whatever. But that's just a little bit that I'm gonna touch on now, so you can see how the things you do now, either they affect your life in the moment and karma will come back and you have to pay for it, or they will affect your life when they can affect your kids in the future. I don't know if I'm saying it the right way, but what I'm saying is shit will come back some way or another. So what happens is you did dirt. If that shit didn't come back to affect you, it will come back and affect your kids in some way, to where you probably see your kids doing the same shit you was doing, and you got to see it all over again in your life without even being involved in that type of lifestyle yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because now I got to pick up calls from my son in jail. You know what I'm saying? I got to give him advice as far as legal advice, or going to the parole board, or signing a halfway house package, or sending him pictures to jail, or you know, like, so now, yes, the things you do will come back to affect you in some way, to where you like, damn, I never wanted my kids to go through this, but the things I did affected him, because now he thinks he's got to live up to it, or now he thinks that he's got to, you know, like whatever the case may be. People's telling him stories about who his dad was, who his family is, who's his uncle. So it becomes something to where they're trying to live up to it, and now you never meant for your kids to be involved in the game. So now you're like, yo, your kid is involved in some shit that you didn't even want him to be involved in, because that's not what you did. When you was in the streets, you didn't think your kids were gonna do what you was doing. You thought you was making money to just be able to put food on the table. My phone's about to die, so I'm about to end this in a little bit. You thought you was just making money to put food on the table, feed them, and give them a better life. You know what I'm saying? And be in their life as a father, because you didn't have a father, and do the best things you can. But you now noticing that your actions are still affecting them some way, somehow. And that's just the crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? That now you could look back and think about it and be like, yo, damn, I didn't think this was gonna happen. My oldest is 22. Yeah, he'll be yeah, he's 22, 22, boom, 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 boom. Yep. So yeah, he's locked up right now, and you know hopefully he'll be home the end of this year. He in a half hours. He'll probably be in a half hours by the end of this year, middle of next year if he doesn't get the half hours. But that's just a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, about me, and about, you know, the shit that has happened, and answering the questions um of all the people that ask me certain questions and whatnot. So I'm about to end this. So let me know what y'all think, man. Drop a comment. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all like this. Um, Another thing, 5,000 subscribers. I keep saying this, right? So once I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'm gonna start doing something once a month where I'm gonna cash out somebody money back, even if it's just a little bit. But it's just a way of me giving back. You know what I'm saying? And helping the channel grow and stuff like that. So make sure you let your friends know, let your peoples, you know what I'm saying, come subscribe to the channel. Thanks everybody for who's checking in. If you didn't catch the live, just make sure, you know what I'm saying, you hit that like, drop a comment, let me know what y'all think as well. I'm gonna load it up, make sure it goes up there. Um, yeah, I was a little nervous at the beginning, but once I started going, it was a little bit easier. I'm still getting used to it, so just next week, yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna try to do it every Saturday. So just know that every Saturday I'm gonna post it. I'm on the community service. I'll go up, I'll do a live, and then I'll put up the post during the week, so you guys can start giving me the questions or whatever, and I'll touch on it. Hey, what's up, Regina? How you doing? Thanks for checking in. Yeah, so yeah, that's how we doing it. So let you people know what it is. Let them subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Come to the channel, and get something from me. I'm end this. So everybody says 6ix9ine hit a stripper. Oh really? I didn't see that. I'll look into that. I mean, that's crazy. That kid's just excuse me, right? He I don't know, man. Like he needs to just what the funny thing is? I'm talking about 6ix9ine, right? He's got a lane. I'm gonna end this real quick with this. He's got a lane to still get money at the end of the day, because he's still got a bunch of kids and a bunch of people that don't care that he told, and they still love him regardless. He can make money off his life story with a movie, his series, Netflix, whatever the case may be. Write a book, try to teach people what he went through, and have people learn from him doing, speeches, speaking to kids and whatnot, doing something positive out of the negative, right? But he still want to run around and do this clown shit or whatever the case may be, and he's gonna end up running to the wrong person. But at the end of the day, half of this shit is still staged by the music industry itself. Because at the end of the day, it's suspect that he ran up on Meek. Meek didn't do nothing. Come on, I seen 6ix9ine in the streets where people done ran up on him and wanted to fight him when he first came home, and he didn't fight him. He said, "I'm not a fighter," and he was just laughing at the person, and security was getting in the middle. So he's really not gonna fight nobody. For him to run up on Meek like that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Meek ended up. I guess he got him. He got the song. He's trying to get his song. He got the song down or some shit because he put him on the video. So now this legal shit going over that. It's funny, man. A lot of these dudes contradict themselves in a lot of ways. That's why I get mad with a lot of them. And it is what it is with them. But yeah, I'll look into that. See what happened with this whole 6ix9ine shit, hitting somebody over the head with a bottle. Yeah, just thanks for letting me know. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go now. My phone's about to die. It's your boy Omega. You know what it is. I'm gonna do this every Saturday. I'm gonna put the community post up there, so like that. If you guys got any specific questions you want me to answer, I'll start writing them down. And then when I come back on Saturday, we'll touch on some more. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that y'all want to talk about, whether it's how shit went down in jail, or what I'm saying, more shit on the streets, more gang stories, whatever. I got stories for days, but we can touch a little bit. We're gonna get a little bit at a time, and like that, you guys get to know me a little bit more. We can learn something from whatever I spoke, and what I'm saying, get something out of it. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy. I'm gonna let y'all go. Yo, one.